I was recently asked a question. What is summer doing to my body? So, whether we consciously realize it or not, the seasons impact us very much so. And summer is a potent season. It's hot, especially depending on where you live. It's very hot. It is sharp, it is expansive, it can be drying, and it can be really intense. And all of that affects the body, the mind, and the emotions. So today I want to help you understand what summer tends to amplify and how to support yourself through it because it's also bringing us a lot of sacred medicine as each season is. So, from an Ayurvedic perspective, summer's heat and abundance of sunshine and light with its longer days and more sunshine may increase heat and intensity within ourselves. And so that can show up as irritability, inflammation, impatience, skin flares of all kinds, being more prone to getting bug bites or to reacting to different plants. Like people tell me that they are more susceptible to like grass stuff if they touch the grass, or like some people can go touch poison ivy and they're fine, others touch it and they're down for the count for quite a while. It can also show up as digestive issues, particularly in the way of looser stools and kind of sharp tummy aches, acidity, burning, heartburn, headaches, overheating, being really sensitive to the sun, and just kind of like general fatigue. A big thing to keep in mind in the summer that will help with all of those things I just mentioned and more is that even though it can seem counterintuitive, digestion is actually weakest in the summer. So the hotter that it is, like outside, the weather, the weaker digestion is. And I know that can feel a little counterintuitive, like I said, because people can assume, oh, hotter season means stronger digestion, and that's not true. So digestion is itself a process of transformation. It's a heating process itself. And so summer heat weakens digestive fire because the body directs energy outward to cool itself. It's trying to remove heat from the body. And so that can also show up as maybe a lower appetite or irregular hunger, maybe bloating, sensitivity to certain foods that maybe you don't have at other times of the year, and dehydration and dryness. That's why many of us, when we're listening to our bodies and are more in tune during this time, we will crave lighter foods. And that makes so much sense. I mean, just look at what is seasonally available during this time. It's things like melons and cucumbers and zucchini and really light greens and okra. And so keep things cooling and really simple during the hot times. It's not a time for like excess spicing and spicy foods, lots of heavy meats. Those things can be a little bit more appropriate for some people, not all. Some people will always be sensitive to those things, but typically in the cooler times, that's when the digestion is stronger and we can do things like that, and our bodies will crave more of those things. Heat also impacts the mind, our mood, our nervous system. Like I said, there can be irritability, frustration, reactivity, right? Maybe you could find yourself like snapping at your partner or your friend. There can be emotional sharpness, overstimulation, and impatience. So heat in the environment often becomes heat in the mind and the emotions. So notice what happens for you when it is hotter. And again, when we are tending the digestion and really honoring the fact that it is weaker, and so it is a time for lighter, cooler things that will bring that lightness and the coolness to the mind and to the emotions. So that kind of like heaviness or the sharpness or the impatience will also quell. So it's all connected. Something else to consider is what we're doing with our energy during this time. Summer naturally pulls us outward. There tends to be more socializing, more travel, more activity. and less stillness. There's longer days, so we want to do all the things and it can be really fun. And we're supported for sure by nature to do that during this time to take advantage of that. But it can be depleting if it's not balanced. So we need to be mindful of like those extra late nights and the constant plans and the overexposure. And it can really start to compound. And if we deplete ourselves now, we're setting ourselves up for more sickness during the autumn and winter times. And so, honestly, like kind of think back in previous years if you've had a very expansive go go summer that wasn't quite balanced, did you find yourself getting sick during the autumn and the winter times? So, enjoying the excess of energy and light that's here because we are, it's like I said, the conditions are ripe. We're supported during this time to be a little bit more energetic and to be a little bit more gregarious, but also being mindful of our capacity and our limits, especially if you live in a place where summer is really, really hot. So balancing that with stillness and quiet and solitude, and enjoy cooling things like moon bathing under the full moon. That can be really, really wonderful. Being in bodies of water, preferably natural ones, and enjoying sweet company. Sleep can also get a little weird during the summertime. It's can be hotter, so that can make it a little uncomfortable. The days are longer. There can be disrupted rhythms and disrupted releases in melatonin and overstimulation and irregular routines. So being mindful that just as we're tending digestion, that we're also really tending good quality sleep and keeping that consistency and winding down earlier, having less intensity at night because the day has already brought such intensity with the abundance of sunshine and the longer hours of sunshine and the heat. So really winding it down at night, like earlier, even if the sun is still up, like just winding it down, winding it down. So keep it simple, keep it fun, keep it practical for how to support your body during the summer. Be aware of how you're feeling and bring in the opposite qualities to bring some balance. So if there's been a lot of sweating, if you live in a dry climate and it's dry and hot, make sure that you're hydrating really well. Favor room temperature beverages, not ice cold. And I know for a lot of people, they're like, what the what? It's hot. I want ice cold things. Again, digestion is weaker in the summertime. Ice cold things are never good for our digestive fire because it is a fire. That's right. And so if I'm pouring ice cold things on there, I'm weakening it. I'm weakening this thing that I need to burn at an appropriate strength, neither too hot nor too cold, just Goldilocks, just right. So if I'm pouring ice cold things on it, especially during a time when it is already kind of weakened because it's my body's trying to cool me down, you're just setting yourself up for issues. And when we're not digesting the food that we're putting into our bodies, that impacts the mind. It creates an environment where perhaps metabolic toxins can accumulate because things aren't being fully digested. And so in that environment, disease can start to manifest. So go for those lighter seasonal meals, really look at what's in season around you. Try to shop at farmers markets this time of year. There's an abundance of produce available. So things like bitter greens and juicy fruits. Have those slower evenings, less pushing, protect your sleep, create cooling rituals. Try the moon bathing if you've never done it. It is really glorious. And be mindful of overstimulation. And ask yourself in closing, I love to leave you with some good reflection questions. Where is heat showing up in my body, mind, or life right now? So where is there a little bit excess heat? And where is there an appropriate amount that's feeling good? Heat is a wonderful thing. It brings us that sense of tapas is a Sanskrit word for like a sacred discipline. And that's kind of a heating, fiery thing. So there can be good appropriate amounts of heat. So, where is that showing up for you in an appropriate way? And where might there be an excess that isn't feeling good right now? And what would support cooling, softening, and an ease to the excess heat? Okay. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for tuning in. And if this resonated, please share with somebody who could benefit from it. And if you have a question you'd like for me to answer, reach out to me at my website at innerspark.life, and I'll see you next time.